Bro, like, you just can't be in a bad mood listening to this.
It's the highlight of my week every week.
It really is. I mean, I used to wake up to Bob Marley every morning. Better than that. I literally have my Three Little Birds tattoo. Like, that's just a way to live, man. I can't get over it, but...
I should throw it in my rotation. It probably would improve my morning ritual. But
cheers,
I wouldn't
sir.
have this to put it. Absolutely, brother.
I feel like it's been so long since I've seen you in this format, but we do have to kind of at least like we have to give and spill the beans and let people know that you and me spent almost an entire week together and didn't get a goddamn podcast in.
Good old Mississippi. It had too many distractions for us.
Too many distractions, too much work. There was a lot of positive work going on, but I'm glad to be back, man. It's been 2 solid weeks of solid freaking football. Like, outside of some taunting penalties, which we'll get into, but outside of that, no complaints. I'm sure sitting here at 2-0, I got no complaints. But just the overall product of football, man, it is so good for it to be back.
Lot of just good quality football, like throughout. Like I can't remember many games that were this is a gross game. Like both Sundays, Chris Hansen has put me through just absolute bliss, and it's just been full of fantasy points, and it's been full of storylines, and sadly enough, full of injuries. So it's been a roller coaster of a past 2 weeks, but I mean, it's good. What a time to be alive.
Dude, it was crazy. Midway through, I think the morning games or the day games, the 1 o'clock games, 5 quarterbacks had all go down at once, and I just couldn't help but start trying to put together what the QB market currently looks like. Like, you have a few teams that have a couple quarterbacks. Cam Newton's on the market. Maybe. Are any teams even going to mess with him? Do teams want to deal with that, with having potentially a quarterback unvaccinated? All that BS that goes along with that current situation. But you have Mitchell Trubisky, a backup quarterback, starting, who's had enough starts. He's a veteran presence, even though he's in his 5th year, 6th year. But I mean, he's got starts under his belt. He's probably the best backup quarterback in the NFL right now.
He's definitely up there. He's definitely up there. But in terms of what an asset that is at this now, the fact that people need a backup quarterback to be comfortable in, what is it worth? What is a good So what does it cost to get Mitch Trubisky from the Bills?
Dude, I think right now a 2nd round pick.
Right?
I think a 2nd round pick
mid-season,
because what is he actually worth? Maybe a 3rd or a 4th, but now you're desperate. Now you need a quarterback.
Yeah, the Bills aren't selling, you're buying.
Bills,
so what do you want them?
Yeah.
What do you want to pay for it?
It doesn't mean anything for the Bills to get a 5th round pick to then get rid of the best backup. They're not gonna, who cares about a 5th rounder? But a 2nd rounder, now we're talking. Maybe a second, some change, maybe a player swap. You have that team bent over the negotiation table the second you pick up the phone. So, but then you have, who
it's
else
going
to
to happen. There's going to be a quarterback vacant, spot vacant, that there's going to need to be a replacement. And you saw it this week with Tua. There's just a number of quarterbacks that I just don't feel comfortable seeing that they're going to make it this whole year. Big Ben's already starting to kind of deteriorate. Now he's got pec issues, but he's got weird Will Ferrell powers where I think he improves with injuries, and so they might actually increase throughout. But I digress. To your original point, it's going to be interesting to see if there is a backup quarterback market that pops up. But at this rate, I definitely think we're going to see Cam Newton play this year, which makes me happy. But where is that? Who knows?
Sooner or later, somebody's going to have to call him. But you also have, what else? You have Cam Newton, Mitchell Trubisky, Nick Foles, who's probably heading to the Colts, and then Jimmy G.
God, Jimmy G's balling right now.
Why would they? But then
He's
that's going
being
to cost
Alex
you.
Smith
But
to Trey
tell
Lance's
me,
Mahomes.
for a first round pick, the Niners aren't going to talk because you bought him for a second rounder. He's balling right now. He's proven to be a Super Bowl
Why would I give
contending.
that away for a second rounder? Why would I give a quality, competent quarterback first? Like, you're paying top notch for a quarterback regardless. So why not go ahead and give the Texans what they're asking for? Like, I think they're doing it right. I think it's time we start actually thinking maybe the Texans know what they're doing. Like, they've outperformed what everyone thought they were going to do. Really Granted, I don't see a very high ceiling, but, like, there's competency there. So,
dude, if you could get a 16 game or a 17 game, season out of Tyrod Taylor, they're kind of like they're messing around in the AFC South because there ain't a whole lot there. The Colts, the Colts have had two really bad matchups. You play Seahawks one week, you play the Rams the next week. Like, good luck. I don't know if there's any team. There's not two teams that are probably coming out with 2 wins back to back facing those two teams. You
got the Colts trotting out Carson Wentz on two sprained ankles.
Son. Not one.
Could you imagine what that's like? Like, could you imagine just walking around with 2 sprained ankles? That is hell. Yeah. That is what it's like to be in hell.
The Eagles
are going to try to play a football game.
That's not going to be a first round pick. That's definitely going to be a second. That compensatory pick.
Pick. Yeah.
He has to play 75% of the season.
Like,
it's not going to happen.
I don't want anyone to be going through 2 sprained ankles. Awful.
How do you?
But they're going to be in the quarterback market soon.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, it's gonna get interesting.
Injuries
are
plaguing teams big time. Like, look at the Bucks. I mean, you've seen the one position where they were kind of thin at was corner. They had 3 decent corners. They have Carlton Davis, who's definitely a good corner. I'm not gonna say Carlton Davis is a great corner. I'll say a really, really good corner. But as soon as that happened, now they're calling freaking Richard Sherman. I ain't mad at it. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, I think Sherman could definitely, as long as y'all playing mostly zone.
But think about that. Would you ever think you would have? I mean, he can play cover 3 and he can play man. Like, you just
Who?
Richard Sherman.
Sherman at this age, you want playing man?
If he can play why do you think he can't play man, but he can play cover 3? I know he's always played a cover 3 man scheme, but you have to play cover 3. I think to play cover 3 man, you have to be faster than you do as playing man coverage, where you can just be more physical. I think he can still be
cover 3 in the sense of make sure he uses the sidelines to his advantage and capitalizes on technique over athleticism, as opposed to man. You're exposing yourself if you don't have the athleticism. And at his age, I don't think he can.
Yeah.
So I think he's a role corner, which if you're in that type of scheme and you have the position for it, sure. But I don't think Tampa Bay plays that way.
No, especially he will get put on an island several times, but he's only gonna have to cover for a second and a half at tops with the way that defense. Its success rate off the blitz is insane.
You're feeling yourself.
I know. I'm sorry, I can't help it. We're 2-0, baby. Sitting at the top.
It's half of the first month of the season, but no, it is exciting, and that's what football does to us, and that's what makes it so captivating.
Speaking of, I do got to ask, like, how are you ranking your Chiefs after that loss? How are you feeling? I know it's got to hurt. I'm not trying to rub salt in the wounds, but like, I'm struggling with my power rankings right now because Bucks been one, and
Naturally.
For ESPN or NFL power rankings to even think the Bucks weren't one last week, I'm not even saying. I'm gonna keep this show PG today, you know what I'm gonna say. You know what. That's how I feel about that. Thinking the Bucks weren't the 1 seed, but anyways, who do I have as 2? And how far do I slot down the Chiefs? Like, I want to hear it from you. How far are you even going to slot them down? Because I still almost want to put them at 2. I don't feel like they're that bad. Like, they lost. It happened.
In the fruitless exercise that is establishing week-to-week power rankings. I would say the number 2 team in the league is still the Chiefs. Like how many more teams do you want to not play than the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Buccaneers, for sure. Who else? Like, they're still nasty with, like, they were going to win that game if Clyde doesn't fumble the ball for the first time in his career. Like, they were going to give it to Harrison Butker to kick a 40-plus field goal to win the game.
It would have happened. It would have happened, should have happened.
And then we're talking about, like, oh, Chiefs do it again, because that was a comeback. So, I mean, I don't really give it too much credit. Like, congrats to the Ravens. Like, that was tight that they beat the kryptonite that has been the Chiefs for all of Lamar's career. And that's a super exciting. Like, dude, they did the Omar whistle and, like, kickoff. And I was like, oh, okay, this is sick. And Ray Lewis came out and did his whole dance. I was like, that was a dope environment to be in for a Ravens fan. I mean, I got a tattoo of the final score. Like, that's how immense this game meant to the fan base. But I'm still wanting to play them again. Like, I don't think when we see them in the playoffs, which we will, because they're the second best team in the AFC.
Lamar Jackson's amazing, but that team is falling apart. Like, I don't think they can have a few more. I'm not gonna say that was a fluke game, but I think they played above their means that night. I think every facet of that team played above their means. Lamar Jackson's the only one who played typical of his talent, and it was one of the best games he's ever played.
Which is the MVP.
Exactly. Like, he's going to have to be the MVP this year for them to make the playoffs, period. Yeah. And it might
So is Patrick, though. I mean, like, that's just what those type of players means. Like, if he's on the field, he's the best player on the field in most cases. And he's better at what he does than what Josh Allen does at what he does. I would say that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
And I don't think there's any quarterbacks besides Mahomes that does their job better than what Lamar does his job at. So I do feel you on the injured reserve, like just the amount of injuries that have ravaged that team, but nobody gets more out of their third and fourth stringers than John Harbaugh, as evidenced by the undefeated record in the preseason. Oh, yeah. Like, this man just coaches. Like, it don't matter who it is. Like, just throw him out there and he'll get the job done. So it could be a team of destiny type shit.
I do think that trickles down, though, all the way back to, like, the Ozzie Newsome days. Like, he built a freaking team.
Great franchise.
Oh, yeah. I think he was one of the best GMs
I've always enjoyed the Ravens.
I mean, because then again, look at how the Ravens have built themselves for the last 20 years. It has been through the draft, every year. And it's like all these SEC, Bama defenders. I mean, they literally are like, it's Bama purple.
Just a good, hard-nosed, fundamental team.
Yep.
And they're going through the running game and defense, and I enjoy them. I enjoy them as a challenger and as a rival now. And I look forward to playing them again. They beat us, and on to the next one. Chargers are about to get it, though, but we can talk about that.
Yeah, I know. It's all right. That'll be some garbage points for the league I got Herbert in. But I don't know what to do with Herbert, man. I'm starting to get nervous. I called it. I said he was going to have a regression year. He played too good last year.
Naturally.
It was going to happen. But then all the quarterbacks got taken in this, like, everybody. And within one round, all the quarterbacks went. And so it was like table scraps. And I should have just went for the complete table scraps, as in, like, Stafford and Jalen Hurts like I did in other leagues, and I would have been just fine. But because everybody scared me, I fell into the draft, and that's what happened. So, but you know what scares me though a little bit is these Rams, and that's where I'm trying to figure out where I put them in the rankings, because I think you're right. I gotta put the Chiefs 2, because the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and nobody want to play the Chiefs. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Just like how Washington won that game, but did they really win that game? Because they shouldn't have won that game, and it was some bullshit, and it was kind of an offsides. Like, I mean, let's be real.
That's the South.
But a fumble.
That's that division. That's how all those division games go, and they're just in the grand scheme, they're not a great team, but they're good enough to win in that one.
Yeah, I feel like the Ravens played the best game they possibly could, and I don't know, Patrick Mahomes played fucking outstanding. I mean,
Yeah,
God, he played so good. I mean, every throw, like everything was good. There was nothing not to like about that game and
Ravens
not
were
to be happy
clicking.
about.
Ravens
But
did everything they were supposed to do, and they didn't make mistakes. They fucking crushed it, and the Chiefs fumbled in the last second to not win.
yeah,
So I mean, like, it's still
Chiefs
like
lost it.
we
I
could
would
have
say,
done a lot more and could have been fine. I don't see the Ravens playing much better than they did.
Are you worried about your defense though? Because it does look like you have a couple studs. It kind of reminds me of the Rams defense, not as star-studded, but it kind of reminds me of that in the sense that you have
the role players aren't
you
making
got
the
one
plays.
guy on each level of the defense that's a gangster, and then everybody else is kind of like B and C squad down to scrubs. Not
There's
to be disrespectful.
There's no, please disrespect all aboard. There's two, and if you go back and watch like the big plays from this game, it was number 49 and number 56. It was Daniel Sorensen, who typically is known for his clutch plays, where he'll his clutch gene will get him in the Chiefs Hall of Fame, but his play-to-play performance is a liability. He's leading the league in missed tackles by like 9. Like, the dude has just been rushed.
I don't understand how he's still on a team because he's like the complete opposite of.
Because he's Dirty Dan, and because he's gonna make a game-sealing pick or a game-changing fumble on special teams.
But
like,
when you give
dude's
up, when you're the reason,
role player.
Yeah, but
he's
he's also the reason why like there's touchdowns being scored. So
absolutely,
maybe in clutch time, but like the other 90%, he's kind of a liability almost.
Absolutely.
I mean, he was treated like that in the Super Bowl.
Yes, and it's because they haven't been giving Juan Thornhill snaps for whatever reason. They're saying it's because they want to get him back from injury. Well, I'll trust the coaching staff on that, but he only played 11 snaps in this past game. It was weird. Like, it was noticeable. I was like, where's Juan Thornhill been? Because he did good to very good in week 1, and his sudden complete disappearance of snaps is kind of bewildering all of Chiefs Kingdom these days. But his replacement will mean something in terms of just improvement. And Ben Neiman has been bad. And Willie Gay is going to be back in about 2 weeks, and he's probably going to be the third best defender on the team.
Yeah,
so those two switch outs are going to change the entire defense, because then we still need a pass rush. Frank Clark's going to have to turn it around. He's gone after this season anyways, because he can't stop bringing Uzis into Lambo trucks and getting pulled over. But besides that, he's also not done much from a pass rushing standpoint, which doesn't help when you're getting about $27 million in cap hit. So the Chiefs always make things interesting. They don't have a game that isn't weird, but they're in good hands. And they're still number 2 on the power ranking.
Look at who they face, though. Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens, two of
the two best rushing schemes in the entire league.
Yeah, and
everyone's like, what's wrong with their run defense? They played the 2 best run offenses in the league.
Yeah.
And give it some time. Right.
Give it some time.
Right.
They're not the 32nd.
Let other people play the Ravens and the Browns, and let's see how they do against the run.
That's like paying attention to fantasy football week 1 when it says this is the 32nd ranked defense against the running back. And it's like, well,
people love numbers.
Yeah, it was 1 week, and that just happened to be, you had these 2 fluke plays, and yeah, I think like the Niners, the San Francisco 49ers were one of the worst run defense or run team or teams against the running back last week, and it's like, oh yeah, please play your running backs against the Niners and see what the fuck happens.
Chargers have under 125 rushing yards this week. I'll even say probably under 100, but no, it's just going to be. It'll be fine. But yeah, that's my lock.
I don't even know what happened with Eckler, but I did see he got injured during the game.
Did he?
Yeah. He's already scaring me.
That's what he does.
Again, back to what was scaring me, the Rams matchup with the Bucs this next week. That one's going to be interesting. That's going to be
a lot of fun.
That's going to be a storyteller right there. If the Bucs
is that prime time?
I hope so.
It has to be. It has to be Sunday night.
Nope.
It's gonna be
Nope.
325.
325, dude.
L.A. or Tampa Bay?
L.A. 325 in
Ooh.
L.A. Wow.
That's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, it is.
Chiefs play at noon too. Who plays that primetime game? Do you have like the whole?
Yeah,
NFL
I got it right here. Packers at Niners.
I would love to watch that too. Wow, NFL, man.
Seahawks. You got Seahawks at Vikings, Eagles at Cowboys, Dolphins at Raiders, but that's gonna be probably without Tua, so it's not gonna mean as much. It sucks.
Yeah, and is Derek Carr gonna play?
Saints at Patriots.
Sorry, hashtag MVP candidate Derek Carr. Is he playing this weekend?
Yeah, he will be playing this weekend.
Cool.
Yes. Holy hell, man. I know. Like, I don't know what surprised me more, man. Derek Carr has been playing lights out football. Like, from a pocket mobility standpoint, from a field vision standpoint, like, dropping a 7-yard bomb and just showing everybody that he's got that arm. Like, he hit Ruggs in stride. Ruggs did not skip a beat, slow down, like, extend. It was the perfect throw. I think all of these people are...
That's you.
Sorry, guys. Freaking...
Yeah,
I'm sure
the
you all have
Raiders
been
up.
on ESPN
That's
one
perfect.
time. And then
Build the Raiders up just for them to let you down, because that's what they're going to do. And it's just the same old story that we always get with them.
What do you mean same old story? When have they been two? When's the last time they went 2-0?
When the last time they had fun stretches? Like, they get fun stretches. And Derek Carr goes like on a 4-game, like 400 yards per game stretch, and it's sure it's fun, and it was 386. It was 386. They're the perfect team for Las Vegas. I'll say that. And
why? You think they're just gonna blow all of their bankroll, get all super excited, and then just go home freaking miserable, go home with nothing?
Wow. You really drove that one home for me. I appreciate it.
It's like Vegas. It's Vegas in a nutshell. Literally, like
that
everybody
Vegas
goes
in a nutshell.
Highest hopes. They're gonna strike it rich and then go home with nothing, or end up with Derek Carr as your quarterback. But I mean, it's working, dude. You got to show credit where credit is due, and if I'm doing power rankings,
their defense is much better than I anticipated.
If I'm doing power rankings, taking everything else out of it, like take names out of teams, take players out of teams, and just have like watching just film. The Raiders should be top 5 in everyone's power rankings right now.
Would you have the Raiders over the 49ers?
Yeah, I think so. The Niners have like let some shit slip, and if it wasn't, that'd be a whole different game if Rager had not stepped out of bounds. Like there was 2 or 3 plays that it would have been a different game, and I know that's if and buts. But
would you rather play the Raiders or the 49ers right now?
I think I'd rather play the 49ers.
Okay.
They have no They have no running backs left.
It's Kyle Shanahan.
But all right,
he'll get the popcorn guy to get
all
go
right.
for at least
The number 1 cornerback on the San Francisco 49ers is who?
Sorry, one more time.
Who is the number 1 cornerback on the San Francisco 49ers right now?
Cornerback?
Corner.
Barrett?
No, he tore his ACL. He's out now. That's how. I hate to laugh at that,
the
but like
classic Jason Barrett story.
Dude, nope, he tore his ACL. Yeah.
Akello Witherspoon?
Yep.
Did I nail that?
Akeem Witherspoon.
Wow, wasn't ready for that question today.
But is he not? Is he Jason Verrett? Hell no.
I mean,
like tell me the Raiders did who like who what offense is better and more potent right now? Probably the Raiders. Derek Carr, is Derek Carr not playing better than Jimmy G? Come on.
Okay. I'll let that be a toss up. I mean, but would you rather play the Raiders or the Broncos?
I'd rather play Broncos. Yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm worried about the Broncos. They have impressed me.
Yeah, but I mean, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, I feel like
Judy will be back in a few weeks. And they got Albert
Yeah,
O
but it's
starting to
right.
get
We're talking right now.
involved, and they got
We're
Noah
talking week
Fant
2.
involved.
We're talking week 3 power rankings, son.
Okay.
I know. Which
I'm,
is such a
I'm
cop
worried
out.
about the Broncos. Teddy B
I like
doesn't
the Broncos,
lose
but
the game.
I think
Their defense wins games. Their running backs are good.
But who have they really beat? Who have they played the last 2 weeks? Score. Sorry to re-pull up the NFL scores.
Yeah, go for it. But just in terms of the pieces that they have and like the foundation of that team, like
I mean,
Teddy B is that game manager. He is that Alex Smith type shit. He is that Jimmy G shit. He drives the bus. Don't put him in the wheel of a Ferrari, but he'll drive a bus.
All right. Pump the goddamn brakes. It was the Giants and it was the Jaguars. We're talking about the Raiders. The Raiders beat the Ravens, who just beat your team, so we gotta give them some credit. And then they beat the Steelers, who just got done beating the freaking Buffalo. So
the Steelers are gonna go 9-8.
Okay, but they just got done smacking Buffalo a week before.
That's fine.
So like in terms of the pecking order, like if you're doing, sports math, which never works, like for sure the Raiders should be the number 1 ranked team in the AFC right now. Not that they will be, or they will be put ahead of your Chiefs, but I wouldn't be surprised if the way your secondary looked, your lack of run defense, that you and the Raiders don't split based off of just division rivalry. Like, the Raiders don't have your number. I'm not going to go that far, but they did beat you guys last year, and I do think there is a lot, that whole opening season thing in Vegas, I think there's some oomph. There's like a little bit of something about the Raiders outside of them just having an actual legit team. Like, Leatherwood's my biggest concern.
I'm compelled to make a bet that I don't want to make a bet.
Don't make me put a bet on like behalf of the Raider Nation. My friends will not.
Don't make me put a bet on the Broncos. But
I'll go there. I will go there. If you want to go there, like end a season, who's got a better record?
Right. Like who ends up higher?
I'll go there. I do think I love me some Teddy B. I love the Broncos. Bradley Chubb, Von Miller, stout freaking linebackers, some good young secondary.
Really good secondary.
If there's some things, solid offensive line. I got some big boys in the trenches on the defensive side. I mean, there's a lot to like, but I'm just saying, they ain't got Darren Waller. They ain't got freaking Josh Jacobs.
What's your next one?
I don't know. That's kind of a tie there defensively. Like that defensive line, I would not say that.
That's what I'm saying. Broncos have 5 of those. They don't have 5. They don't have 5 quarters, but they got 5 dimes.
I think, I'm gonna say, I'll say Vegas. Vegas will definitely be ahead of the Broncos. I really do think. I think the Raiders keep this up. They're heading to the playoffs. Week 2, who knows? It's so early. This is all bullshit, but
hey, week 2 bets are fun.
That's why we make them.
I just really don't.
We're gonna need it. We're gonna need. You know what we need to do? We need our own I
don't want to root for the Broncos. This sounds gross.
I know. I don't even want to root for the Raiders. Like I like John Gruden. That's my dude. No, I only root for the Bucks. All right, I root for the Bucks. That is it. I've got players I like, and I have coaches I like.
All right.
If you met Gruden that day that I met Gruden, you would be the same way about it, all right?
Subtle flex.
I know.
But
it is. There's a reason why we're credentialed in the NFL. I mean, we got to give the man his credit where he's due. He put our gal on the sidelines right now. Shout outs to Karen Metters, who is now a Raiders fucking photographer. I'm stoked for you.
Absolutely. Hey, shout out Karen. If for any reason you see this, salute. Go crush it out there. You're fantastic at your job.
Killing it. Super proud. Blitz is still on the sidelines of NFL games right now. That makes me happy. That makes me happy. She's killing it.
We out you.
But
Real quick, I know this could become its own thing, but you were just talking about how Gruden's your boy. Like, if you were to be at a dinner table with NFL personnel, like coaches, like he's got to be up there, right? Like it's him, Arians.
Oh, we're just doing coaches.
Yeah.
Oh,
You only pick 3. Just
all right,
keep
what
it
is
short.
all right, so you gotta at least give me a scenario, or is it like a party, or are we like, what are we talking?
We're having dinner. We're at
We're
steakhouse.
just having dinner.
We're at
Like you get to pick
Indy.
their brains.
We're in Indy
Oh,
getting
we're at
steak.
Indy at like Elmo's. All right,
Exactly. That's exactly.
Indy
We're getting
at
shrimp cocktails and we're getting steaks.
Indy at
Which
yeah.
we're
Okay,
doing this year. If we go to Indy, we're going to Elmo's.
deal. Hell yeah. And I'll be like, I can still cook a better steak.
just eat the shrimp.
Just eat the shrimp now.
Yeah.
Definitely get a steak. How do you not go to Elmo's and freaking Indy and not get a steak? Come on now. All right. Obviously, even though we've already got to hang out with Arians in Indy, I will definitely say Arians. I will definitely say Chucky. And
Right.
Jason. I mean, well, like, I guess that's a GM. So we're going just coaches.
For some reason, I thought you were going Jason Garrett.
Ew, God, no. The
I was
clapper,
like,
the clapper,
ruined.
just like, chew that steak. Chew
Like
that
he
steak.
does that when they bring out the bread. Like, all right, tight. Like, no. All right.
No. Jason's
third one would be. I mean, Dan Campbell would probably be electric.
Oh, DC Dan Campbell. I don't know.
He might be too much.
I do have more. Probably Kyle Shanahan.
Okay.
I think it would have to be, because I would want to know, like, just the cerebral, like, I like being around those people that have that cerebral mindset. Like, you could tell that, well, I'm sure almost every head coach probably has some type of cerebral mindset, but you could just tell that Chucky is, like, just in that mode all the time. And you hear that about Kyle Shanahan with, like, Chris Sims talks to him, that, like, he just thinks on a different level. BA is just chill. Like, BA is gonna be the guy, like, you go out and, like, you have the after dinner drink with and smoke a cigar and just chill with, and you don't even have to have too much of a conversation. Like, he's just that guy. But I would sit there and I would ask so many questions about Kyle Shanahan's offense and scheme. You gotta flip it.
All right. I'm going for.
Damn, now I'm like,
we're definitely keeping Arians. Like, I want Arians in any social occasion. Like, he just seems like just a wonderful presence.
No brisket, no biscuit.
Just, he's partying. So I definitely want him. I definitely feel like we're pulling the most bitches with Cliff Kingsbury, so I want him sitting at the table.
Pulling the most. Oh, that's never been used before on fucking TPP.
Hey, cheers. And I don't know. I just feel like Mike Tomlin's really fucking cool. Like, I feel like he's a lot cooler than, like, when he lets his hair down and gets, like, out of the office and, like, goes out. Like, he would be really cool to grab a beer with. So those are my 3. But it would be a weird mesh, but for this exercise.
Another one though, and I like him just from his appearance on Bussin' with the Boys, is Mike Vrabel.
Ooh,
Vrabel's fun. Vrabel's one of the boys.
I'll meet you at the bar, but yeah, I gotta get Vrabel.
Vrabel's one of the boys, dude.
Vrabel at the table should be his pod.
And if Vrabel's at your table, ain't nobody saying shit to you. Like, who is gonna say anything to Vrabel and that stash? Like, that dude was intimidating as shit. Even when we were just walking next to him in Mobile. Like,
I bet Vrabel's hilarious.
We were behind him, and like, yeah, he was talking shit, like, to one of his assistants, just like talking mad shit, just like clowning him, like we would each other for doing something stupid. And I thought it was funny. And then he goes on, like, you hear about, like, how he'll text Taylor to Juan, like, you fucking suck today. Like, you gotta love stuff like that, you know?
Step your shit up.
Yes, yeah. Like, he literally talks to him like he's like one of his boys. I love that.
He needs to be a DC. That's actually, if there's one team I'm the most disappointed in, I would say it's the Titans. Even though they pulled it off, even though I think I I think this new offensive change from Arthur Smith is we're going to see a different Ryan Tannehill than what we've seen the past few years.
It hasn't. The Ryan Tannehill so far has not been the same for sure, and I hope it wasn't completely scheme oriented. I think it's maybe there's going to be some growing pains before it gets back to kind of what we were looking for last year.
It just looks different.
I mean, the offense looked the same to me this last week. They gave him
35 carries, 75-yard touchdown.
35 carries for 182 yards. Who gets 35 carries anymore? Like,
right?
Who does that? 35 carries, 182 yards, 5.2 average, 3 tutties. Like, and then another 6 for 55 in the air. Gotta love it.
That just seems very unsustainable. But that I just wanted to state that Titans are my pick for just. I don't think they're going to be what people expect them to be.
Biggest disappointment so far? All right, if I got a biggest disappointment, it's kind of like I don't want to because there's nobody that's completely like shit the bed just yet. Colts had 2 bad losses. We've had such a
fun NFL season so far.
Yeah,
it's been a blast.
You know what? And this is gonna sound weird because I was hoping to give them a little credit this year. The Jets. The Jets are just so disappointing.
You fell for it?
Not necessarily I fell for it.
You had faith in Robert Saleh.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Like, all right, if anybody's going to kind of give the Jets a little bit of oomph, it's got to be Robert Saleh. Like, not saying they weren't going to be the Jets and that this wasn't going to be a disastrous season, but at least try to protect your quarterback. Like, at least try to run the ball. Like, what? I don't know. Like, it's just that it's been that bad. It is the same shit show we seen last year. So it didn't get any better.
Michael Carter seemed to be getting more love, so maybe they're going to start that. It looks like they're going to start that transition. So I don't know what that means for Tevin Coleman. Hopefully, I think he'll probably end up getting traded, but that's besides the point. Zach Wilson looked bad. Zach Wilson got exposed. I saw a thing on Twitter that showed like all of his 4 interceptions he had, and like he was in the middle of an open pocket for all of them.
Yeah,
and they were just bad decision making. Like
he threw in a triple cover. He threw in a triple coverage like on 3 of those, or I think it was like he threw in a triple coverage on 2, got completely baited into 1, and then just didn't even see the linebacker on the other.
Belichick is just so good at if you are exposing a weakness, he will find it and he will use it.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's actually, it's kind of dawning on me. I think that's why they benefited from such a weak division for so long, is that because they had to face Bill Belichick twice a year, which gave Bill Belichick 2 opportunities a year to give the entire league game tape on how to stop these rookie quarterbacks or young quarterbacks, and then just cut them down.
Or even the teams in their division. Yeah.
Right. So like, if you had a promising quarterback for the Bills, Jets, or Giants, yikes. I say that to say Zach Wilson looked bad, and the dude can make plays. The dude can make some fucking highlight reels overall dimes 50 yards down the field, but I mean,
so could Jameis? Yeah, exactly.
Right. Literally.
My boy, dude.
But I don't know if he has the mental fortitude to be Jameis. Not many players can throw 30 interceptions and also 30 touchdowns.
Yeah, not many players can suck that bad and still be good.
And still have good moment. Like, that takes so much composure, dog. Like, to not be shaken by adversity. Is it composure
or is it like...
And Zach Wilson does not have a lot of adversity behind those eyes.
It's just a lack of self-reflection. I feel like it's not like... I feel like just Jameis is like oblivious to it.
He's like, all right, let's try again.
Yeah, let's got it. I got it. Hug it, check it, football. One more time. Let's go. That was too good.
If Ben Roethlisberger is played by Will Ferrell, Jameis Winston is played by Tracy Morgan. Like, it's just the same, just overall.
I love it.
Just personality.
Oh,
but yeah, Jets are in a rough
please.
spot. Jets are in a rough spot. They you threw it on me. What's the cornerback for the Jets name?
Oh.
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up for sure.
I pulled out Witherspoon. What you got?
Yeah.
You want to go up for me?
I couldn't even tell you.
Oh, I'm gonna say Buster.
Oh,
whatever his last name, Screen.
You got Jalen Mills.
Oh, wouldn't have named that, but.
Oh no, that's freaking. Oh no, never mind. Jalen Mills is on whatchamacallit. He's on Patriots. All right, let me see here. You got.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Buster Screen. You
got Marcus Hay in the secondary.
Marcus May's a safety.
Yep. I'm looking. I'm just trying to read down. I'm reading down the tackle list.
McDougal? Is the name of a player?
Oh, Bradley McDougal.
Did I name that?
If he's if that's the guy that I could actually just type.
I think he's a safety. Yeah, just do Jets step check. Now I have to know.
Yeah, I know this is kind of bad. Nick's probably like sitting there furious with us, just blood boiling, just screaming at the freaking the monitor right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's Bryce Hall, god damn it! That's who it is. It's Bryce Hall, Brandon Eccles, Isaiah Dunn, Michael Carter III, Justin Hardy, Javelin Gertie. I don't know. I don't even know half these people.
Did you just say Michael Carter?
Michael Carter III. Different Michael Carter.
Is different than the running back Michael Carter?
Yeah. Michael Carter from Duke. They did draft two rookies this year named Michael Carter.
Interesting. Okay.
There's Michael Carter, Michael Carter III. Michael Carter III, nickel cornerback out of Duke. Not bad. Pretty feisty. I like that.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah. He's a returner, too.
Okay. Well, they're the... Who's worse? Who's worse? Them or the Jaguars?
I would say they're worse from a talent standpoint. Because the Jaguars got some people. They just don't have it. They don't have that team together. Yeah, Jets are definitely going. If you're I don't see Trevor Lawrence throwing 4 interceptions. Was it 3, 2? I think he had 2 in this game. But I would definitely say that the Jaguars depth chart is better. I'll pull it up right now, but I think it's like.
But if you were to place a bet on who has the better,
it's not
record.
Even close.
Jaguars.
Oh, who has a better record? Yeah, I think the Jaguars are sooner or later going to start getting some wins. I mean, Jonathan Allen, Damian Williams, you got Myles Garrett, you got Caleb Chason, C.J. Henderson, Andrew Wigger. Like, they have freaking Shaquille Griffin. They have guys like Trey Henderson. Or Trey Herndon, sorry. Andre Sisco, the safety from the other day. Tyson Campbell. Like, they've got guys that we've all been super high on over the years. I got Chappelle Russell as a backup. I miss him.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be fun.
I don't know. I think
it'll be interesting to see how much leash Selig has, because he seems to be liked by everyone, which is hard to come by in New York. Like, he's not getting the Joe Judge treatment. Like, Joe Judge is getting any opportunity the media gets to make fun of Joe Judge, they take it. And, like, sure. Robert Saleh is not getting that treatment.
Because anything is better than Gase, for one. So you already get to pass there. He's coming from the 49ers, who he's basically put together a hell of a defense. Even though that the team sucked, the defense been legit for years now.
But they had studs. They had studs that whole time.
Oh yeah,
well, the same way as like the Seahawks.
Yeah, the Seahawks had like 4 defensive coordinators that ended up becoming head coaches, and they all sucked and got fired sooner or later. But they had.
But there was like a Hall of Fame.
That
like,
happens with all right. Eric Bieniemy hasn't got a job yet, but has been like considered the number 1 OC or the number 1 OC like to step up to that head coaching spot for years. How much is that tied to Patrick Mahomes? Probably quite a bit.
Sure.
You know,
and Andy Reid in general.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like Andy Reid OCs just get hired, but for some reason Eric B isn't, which I don't understand why no coaches on the whole staff hasn't been hired. Like typically you'll see like a linebackers coach get promoted from, or like a running backs coach. I don't know, but we've had the same in-house staff for like 3 years, which is typically.
It's
surprising
hard.
for
it's
a
hard.
successful team.
It's hard, especially when you see the Patriots. Like, they get picked apart like crazy, always, consistently. Can't keep coaches.
And
they lose coaches. They lose coaches. They go become a head coach. They get fired, and they come right back to daddy. It's exactly how it works for Patriots.
And the Andy Reid coaching tree typically bears a lot of fruit, but for whatever reason, teams don't want this batch. But hey, cool with me.
Yeah, well, look at the last batch. Kind of hasn't panned out.
Peterson, Nagy.
Yeah. 0 for 2, bro.
Rivera, back in the day.
Yeah, but Rivera is a defensive coach. He's got his own thing.
Harbaugh, too. Harbaugh's in that tree.
Yeah, but is that the... Yeah, but, like, some of those guys just kind of, like, happen to bump into each other as they were, like, bouncing around. I don't know if I would say Harbaugh comes from the Andy Reid coaching tree. When you say Andy Reid coaching tree, you think of, like, offensive philosophy. You think of, like, you know, just because he's worked together with somebody, I wouldn't necessarily say it instantly comes from the coaching tree.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess I feel like coaching tree is tied with philosophy.
One day we're gonna incorporate the scouting matrix into a coaching matrix, and we're gonna establish the coaching trees throughout the NFL.
I want to know, dude. That'd be a fun one. We could do it on Lucid. That'd be cool.
We could do it on Lucid. Shout out. Sponsored by Lucid.
Definitely not. Hell no. No.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Fuck those guys. We have to pay.
Well, there goes our sponsorship.
We pay them. They can pay us.
Fair.
Yeah.
You're right. Right.
So shout out if they want to. Only if.
Well, not anymore. You just said fuck them.
Well, yes. But who you been most impressed by? Like over this last 2 weeks.
Teams?
Only. Yeah. I mean, who's surprised you the most? I mean, we talked about who we're most disappointed in, but I mean, there's a couple teams obviously basically pick somebody in the AFC or NFC West, because every one of those teams is kind of looking good right now.
Okay, I'll go first. The Cardinals are fucking nasty.
That's who I was looking at right now too. Cardinals.
Kyler Murray is just running he is the hardest player. He's Speedy Gonzalez back. He's just so fast and he's so small. You have to get that. It's a lot of fun to watch, but it's got to be absolute hell to try to do. And they got a new toy in Rondale Moore, who I personally don't think is a very good wide receiver. But he's a Kyler Murray out wide, who's about 40 pounds heavier. They're 20 pounds heavier. Sorry. He's not, if you watch what he's succeeding on, it's not any routes. It's screen routes. It's screens and he does stuff with it, or it's scramble plays where Kyler Murray's running around and then Rondale Moore starts running around.
Yeah.
And he's just faster than anyone, so he gets open. And then Kyler Murray finds him and he throws it to him and good things happen. And it's a super interesting aspect to the offense. And I don't want to play the Cardinals right now. I don't want to have to try to tackle Kyler Murray. And Cliff Kingsbury's opening it up. And they have multiple pass-catching options. And Rondale Moore is establishing himself as a threat that defenses need to key on at a given time because they're using a lot of motion for him. Like, he is a chess piece that they're utilizing. And it's cool to see, like, a coach find a player that they want to utilize and then genuinely instantly insert them into their offense, because they're using him in a lot of different aspects, and it's opening up a lot of things. And then obviously you have Hopkins out wide where you have to give at least 2 people to take care of. And then if they're not open, Christian Kirk starting to step it up because he's now getting single coverage with he's falling 3rd, maybe even 4th priority when it comes to defensive planning. And they're a lot of fun to watch. If only they had like a really good running back to utilize.
Only thing they're missing is a between the tackles runner.
Yeah, but they're not.
Bucks should trade them.
Running
Bucks
their
should
offense
trade them.
that way.
Bucks
They know
should
they
trade
don't have it,
Rojo.
so they're not doing that.
Bucks should trade him.
So
Rojo.
that's cool to see, is that they're using their talent effectively, and it's cool. Cliff Kingsbury is impressing me more than I thought he was. He was on his way out at a certain point, but first 2 games have been nice. So
first 2 games are nice, still early, and they have faced 2 defenses that have basically just let them play wide open. I mean, that's the thing. It's like they play wide open, and they play wide open against 2 young, shit secondaries. Like, let's just be honest. Like, the Titans defense is terrible. The secondary is really bad. And then the Vikings secondary is not much better. They got some good safeties, but the rest of it is not. It's not what it used to be. So I'm gonna hold judgment. They're gonna go smack the Jaguars this week. That one's gonna be a blowout. Like, I don't know if the Cardinals
Kyler
will
Murray
ever
in your DFS.
Oh yeah, but then they go Rams, Niners, Browns, Texans, Packers. So minus the Texans, that's murderer's row right there, and we're gonna find out what they really are. Like, it is not, after that, it does not get easy for them. Like, they have a legit tough schedule this year, and they play some legit teams outside of their division, which is stacked as can be as is. So I'm gonna try to hold judgment, but I'm very excited for what he's bringing to the table. I mean, Murray is just, it is, I think it's the funnest football to watch right now. Him and Lamar really are the funnest. Really? But what Kyler does, just being able to scramble, again, I'm a little guy. You know, I ain't too big. I'm small. So it's just
still don't understand how you could see receivers down the field over the offensive line that are like 6'6", 6'7". Like, I don't get how that works, and I would love to get like spacing. A point of view. Sure, but like,
it's all about spacing.
The entire time.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like it's a wall of 5 guys. Like, it goes like this.
It's a wall of 9 guys because you have pass rushers too. Like,
yeah, but
I don't see how he doesn't get batted down more.
That is impressive, but again, it's viewpoints. Like, if you watch Kyler play, he's here, and then like if he has to move over, like that's where he goes to be able to make the throw, and that's where he has to go to see.
To see a
but it's
5'9",
but he never stops. Yeah.
Quarterbacks really.
Oh, I love it. Like we're saying the same thing. It's outstanding. I don't know how he does it. I'm trying to make sense of it, but yeah. I didn't think you could play the position at that height, and the fact that he's doing it, and it's actually harder for them to tackle him. It really hard. Is. He's very fast. He's very fast. He's like a little jitterbug, and at the same time, they have to get so low to be able to hit him that they have to commit. That's just taking time. You're taking time to get down that low. You take time to get that low, and you have to commit to the tackle. Like, if it's Carson Wentz, who's 6'4", 6'5", if it's Josh Allen, like, you have all this, like, target area to hit. Like, you're not diving down. For Kyler Murray, they literally have to head down. Like, they have to bring their head a foot lower than where it typically is, damn near, and then go in for the tackle. That becomes very, very difficult. Like, I remember, you know, if you, like, grew up as a kid trying to tackle the short kid who's, like, just ducking under your arms all the damn time. It was the same thing.
Pablo Sanchez. He was just quick, and he made it happen.
I don't know who that is.
You didn't play backyard baseball. Okay, never mind. A listener did.
I did play.
And they They understood.
All right. Well, I mean, if we're gonna talk to our own fan bases here, I mean,
Absolutely.
I can start dropping inside jokes. But
as we're here on Tuesday, big day. Who's your waivers?
Waivers. Ooh, man. All right. So J.D. McKissick is somebody I wanted last week, and I didn't go grab, and I grabbed some other bullshit players like Jameis Winston, who I don't need, and a couple others. And so J.D. McKissick's up there. Tim Patrick is available in almost every one of my leagues right now.
Really?
Yeah. So I think everyone but ours, obviously.
Yeah, pick him up.
So I mean, 2 tutties back-to-back weeks, but he's only got like 4 or 5 targets each week. Like it's been like I think it's like 3 or 4, but he's consistent.
A presence. He just gets open, and you can just tell like he's just a commanding personality. Like Bridgewater knows Tim Patrick's on the field type shit.
If you're picking up waiver wire and he's getting a waiver wire pick that's getting back-to-back touchdowns, like or targets in the red zone, that's
as long as Judy's out, you need Tim Patrick.
Yeah, you need him. But the top of my list though is definitely Cordell Patterson. And I thought I looked at him and I think probably what every other fantasy owner did was like, oh, Cordell Patterson. He looks like he's the number 1 running back, even though he's really not a running back. Number 1 running back in Atlanta's offense. He's definitely going to be their third down pass catching back. And then you see that they literally have this whole package for them. But you didn't think he was going to do shit against the Bucs. But
when I was with you last week, we were talking to my buddy, and I was mentioning just like little waiver wire pickups, and I was like, hey, man, if like Cordell Patterson's out there, I would stash him because we're dealing with an Atlanta offense that doesn't have a lot of threats. And they have a RB1 that isn't really an RB1. So there's going to be opportunity leaking into whoever that RB2 was going to be. And over the preseason, it seemed to be that it was going to be Cordell Patterson. And it's looking like this offense is starting to establish a legitimate presence and lane for Cordell Patterson. Like he's a big running back. Like, I don't understand why this transition took this long. I don't understand why most kickoff returners don't get, like, some look at running back. Like, Devin Hester? Why didn't Devin Hester? He's just too small? Was he just playing
it bugged me. I always thought
time?
that. You know, when I played Madden, I used to always do that. I would take, like, a Devin Hester and put him
obviously an elite kick returner is going to have really good vision. So why wouldn't you try to give him the ball in your offense? And I've always wondered that for Cordell Patterson, specifically for his size and his just genuine athletic capabilities. And it's really cool to see him get it here in Atlanta. And I think he's going to take off this year. I agree. If we would have done a pod last week, I swear I would have thrown in like hey, if you got a spot on your roster and you're just like looking to fill it with something with potential, Cordell Patterson would have absolutely been my pick because he's got skills and Atlanta needs dudes with skills. And it looks like they recognize that. And
everybody, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you were me and like 3 of the 4 leagues and drafted 5 running backs. You probably only have 3 of them now. You may even only have 2 of them now. I'm down to 2 running backs in a league where I drafted 6, and it's like it's starting to hurt. I mean, Rojo is in there, but it really doesn't, it doesn't count. So like I'm hurting for running backs. Sony Michel is another one where I've seen him.
If it's in a Yahoo league, he has wide receiver and running back flexibility, which is super dope. And
Patterson does?
In Yahoo, cool. I don't know. In the other ones I'm in, he doesn't, but that might change. Who knows?
Yeah, Yahoo's weird like that. Which I'm all down for.
They also
I like it, but I mean, Patterson. So like, I'll just throw out the stat line. He's 8 for 7 in terms of targets or receptions for 71 yards and a touchdown. And then in terms of rushing,
he's a check down. He's a wonderful check down option. You can see him always. He's huge.
Yeah, 14 for
and
65
he makes
on the ground though. 4.6 yards per carry. Like that's saying something.
When he runs, he falls forward. That's like a legit running back trait that he's already possessing. I'm just like, why did it take this long? Why aren't?
It's just weird.
I'm just confused. Why?
It's still because he looks like a wide receiver. Like he looks like a wide receiver. So I think it's still always been hard for teams to try to put him back there when he's not that, or he's never been that. Yeah, again, it's the same thing. Simple-minded coaches. Sometimes you gotta take it. Sometimes you gotta take it back to that Pop Warner.
Minded coaches and pick up Cordell Patterson first on your waiver list.
Yes, I highly
I'd pay pretty high on Fab too. Do you have any budget? Do you do any budget leagues?
No, I wish they sound fun. I wish I would, but
our leagues are so
stuck in their ways.
I would give about 35% of your. So like if you have a 100-point budget league, give $35. Probably even more. I'd probably go 40. Yeah, I'd give 40 points out of 100 for Cordell Patterson.
Oh, damn.
I think that'll get him.
You only get that, and you get that for the whole season, right? So you're saying you spend 40% of your entire waiver wire abilities
and that's
on
just
Cordell
saying
Patterson
if you haven't spent any yet. Like, if you didn't spend any last week, you still have 100, but Elijah Mitchell was out there in leagues, and he probably got – I had a league where Elijah Mitchell got 100% of the budget, which was quite the shock for the rest of the league, and it was a good occurrence. But
that's hilarious.
Yeah, you should get into Fab free agency. Like it's nobody should be doing a rolling waiver.
I'm locked into those leagues. They'll never change. It's forever going to be that way. I try to change it. I tried to bump it from 0.2. It was literally so it's like 1 point per 5 receptions. So I tried to change it from 0.2 to 0.5. Oh my god, they thought I was cheating.
It's holding y'all back,
dude. We've been doing it for 20 years. You can't change it. 20 years in, you can't do it. I mean, I'm an awful human being for even thinking about changing fantasy football this year. Couldn't believe it.
All right. Any other waiver wires? Cordell Patterson.
No, I mean that's like I said earlier. If Sony Michel's out there, I know a couple people dropped Sony, after week 1 and not thinking, and now you already have Darrell Henderson hurt. If Sony Michel takes that role, he's not giving it back. I think Darrell Henderson will go back.
That's how McVay works.
He'll go back to that change of pace, explosive back, and get those big chunk yards that he has. But I think Sony Michel is that same running back we seen his rookie year. I don't know why I still have faith in it, but I just think Bill did him dirty, and when Patriots fans say it, it must be true, right?
This is the healthiest Sony Michel has been. This was the first off season and preseason he wasn't on the PUP, and I went into this season pretty high on Sony Michel in New England. I thought he was going to carve out a role with Damian Harris, and now he gets a shot at the RB1 in LA. So yeah, if he's on your waiver wire, yeah, go for him. If you're spending a budget on him, I'd probably go about 55 out of 100, so 55% of whatever your waiver budget is.
That's crazy. So like, why do you spend?
This is a Sean McVay offense. Like, this is a scheme that is literally built around the running game.
Yeah, that's true. If
action.
If Sony Michel works out, you may have won your league off that. So yes. I get it. I get that taking.
I'd maybe go 60%. If he's still on your waiver wire, yeah, probably 60 or 65%.
2 leagues I put in waiver claims for him. 2 leagues. People get crazy over week 1. I did the same thing. I dropped Michael Carter after week 1 because it was like, it's the Jets. What was I even thinking? Who's that Buffalo Trace? Just keep it rolling.
Hey, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, my dude. I got those. So Concrete Skies again. A beer I helped brew.
I should have got my beer. Next episode, I'll be.
I know. These people think I'm still ripping you off now, getting your beer.
No, I have my beers, people.
All right.
I officially have 2 sets, 6-pack.
Hey, one of those are for Drew. One's for Drew, though.
But if he takes much longer, at least one of those cans is going to belong to me.
Yeah.
It's just a holding.
I'm glad you saved me one. I'm glad you saved me one of these in my own fridge.
Cheers, brother. Appreciate you guys.
Dude. I already miss you in person.
I'll be back.
But
anybody else? Here?
No, man. I want to say this. You did the research today. Like, you were the one telling me you deep dove into this. So I want to hear it from you. Like, I brewed beer all day today. Like, that's what I did. Key City Bruin, just wrapping it.
All right. A lot of people are shouting out Rondale Moore right now because apparently he wasn't hosted either. That's great. Like I said earlier with the Arizona offense, they seem to absolutely be targeting him in a bunch of different roles, whether it be motion, they could be jet sweeps, they could be pitches off the motion, they could be screens, they could be decoys. He is an absolute chess piece in the Cliff Kingsbury experience, and it's worth having on your team. Again, I don't think he's that great of an actual wide receiver, but he's too much of an athletic specimen and of progressive offense to ignore. And he's worth having on your team. And the manufactured aspect of it probably means he's going to hold some flex appeal for the rest of the season. So I would have him if you had the opportunity to. Another one I'm seeing is KJ Osborne. Had 9 targets his first week, 6 targets this week. Based on what it looks like, the dude's a solid third option. As long as Adam Thielen or Justin Jefferson is kind of doing their thing, it's hard for me to put a third wide receiver in my fantasy lineup.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to hold any shares on him unless you're of the mind that Adam Thielen's going to get hurt at some point, and then from there, KJ Osborne's going to fucking explode. Like he's gonna hit heavy.
If Justin Jefferson.
Like if you're in a dynasty league and you have like a deep bench, yeah, get KJ Osborne because the dude can play. He's nice. Kirk seems to absolutely trust him on some crucial downs. I would definitely go for him. But my boy, if I was to name any wide receiver to like really invest in, that seems to be like hot right now. Quintez Cephas is going to be the wide receiver 1 for the rest of the year in Detroit.
Dude, Quintez
It's Hawkinson, Swift/Williams, whatever the running back in that. So they do a lot of play action, and then he'll sit back and they'll just give it right back to him, and he'll get 6 to 7 yards.
Went from practice squad, like number 5, number 6 receiver last year, and I said this dude is nice. I said it in the book. I said this guy could literally.
I liked him in college, man.
He ran I know we talked about this the other night, but he ran like a 4.7. Like he ran like a 4.7.
So did Anquan Bolden.
Yeah,
dude. If you're a baller, you're a baller.
Who cares? It's the only reason why he dropped in the draft. Only freaking reason.
Dude, he had some off the field issues.
Yeah, we leave that.
Yeah. Right.
Off the field, off the pod.
You know what? I think he's innocent. I think he's a great guy.
I don't know anything about it, so I'm not going to comment on that, and
plead the 5th. But I would have Quintez Cephas on my fantasy team.
I really like me some Quintez Cephas. Big fan. Dude is.
And I will say that I knew the Detroit Lions were going to be bad, but I like them. I would watch the Detroit Lions. Like there's heart. There is heart in that football team.
DC Dan Campbell's building culture.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that all their coaching staff is just like former players, and they're just building that whole environment. And
they're hungry, dude. I really do like.
Even in the
losses, they never once like accepted defeat. They were pissed.
No,
like when they get down, they get mad. And like they started throwing, they get aggressive. Like when they get down, they get like the reason why they went it was 17-35 because there was a strip sack fumble. I think that like they were driving.
Yeah,
they were driving. There was 2 strip sack fumbles. I think there was two turnovers towards the end, but at least they're still fighting.
Their whole second half was rough.
Yeah, it wasn't like the second half with the Niners. Or the fourth quarter with the Niners.
But there was still fighting them. It was just like unfortunate, like shit, like a fumbled QB snap.
Yeah.
Like right after going down, I think it was 8. But there's fight. There's a lot of fight in this team, and I would much rather watch the Lions than the Jets or the Jags or
Falcons. Bengals.
Yeah, I'd put him right there. I'd put him right there in that trio.
Yeah.
But overall, I didn't expect to like Jared Goff as much as I do. Like the dime, he put a dime right
Oh,
in
the
for
corner
Hawkinson.
in the corner. Oh, that was so
Oh,
nice. It don't get much better than
he
that.
can do
But
it.
he's
He
done
can
it.
do
Yeah,
it.
he's done those throws. I mean, he is again like if you're gonna
And they
call Jimmy
put
G a Super
Sewell.
Bowl caliber quarterback, you have to still at least accept that Jared Goff is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback because that's the term. He went to Super Bowl, so he's a Super
Man,
Bowl caliber quarterback.
he has the potential to be the best of the bus drivers. I'll say that.
Yeah.
He could be, but he's not even giving a bus at this point. He's giving a go-kart, and he's making it happen. He's making it happen.
Fuck it.
And he's putting some dimes where dimes need to be. And I'm a fan. I hope we get to see the Dan Campbell experience really play out because
I mean, look at what Detroit did. They took a quarterback that they haven't had success with, even though he's a great quarterback.
they stripped it bare. Like that is the barest rebuilding effort you can find.
But at the same
NFL.
time, you potentially got a franchise quarterback back and first round picks. Like this may be the biggest come up of all time. When realistically, they could have just let Stafford walk. Like that would have if that would have happened and they just they cut Stafford to cut Cap. I don't think we would even think about it. We wouldn't even have said shit about it. We wouldn't have been like, oh, they could have got 2 first round picks. We would have never known that they could have got what they got for him, or that this would have panned out the way it did. I'm rooting for Detroit over the next couple of years because typically it's where Hall of Famers die and careers get ended short, and I'm sick of seeing that. I wish Barry Sanders played longer. I wish Megatron played longer. I wish Matthew Stafford have had a better start to his career, but it just wasn't the case.
I wish DeAndre Swift was drafted by the Chiefs. But overall, it's going to be a fun experience.
You weren't saying that, though, when it happened.
I wasn't because I thought Andy Reid would use him like an Andy Reid running back. But that hasn't happened.
Why
he has 3 targets in 2 games. I don't get it. I don't understand why they've completely went away from the blueprint that Andy Reid has used his entire career. I don't get it.
Maybe
Westbrook. It'll change. I don't get it.
About that much shorter. But Brian Westbrook,
I don't get it.
Make him Brian Westbrook.
I thought that's what we're gonna do. They're not running any screens. They're not running any flares. They're just running them up the middle, and that's not how you use a 5'10" running back.
Are you kind of? All right. I'm trying to figure out how to word this without not insulting you, because again, I don't want to insult.
I want you to
Chiefs.
insult as much as you can.
But I'm not, because the Chiefs are that damn good.
I will be able to answer whatever you want.
Does it seem like they do what Mike McCarthy did years ago with Aaron Rodgers? Simplify the playbook and just heavily rely on what they know works. Patrick Mahomes. Get the job done.
No.
I don't know, man. No. That's what I see. I see.
Because if we were doing that, we'd see more empty. But we're seeing a lot of fullback usage. We're seeing more of Michael Burton than we did of Anthony Sherman, which is weird. Like he is already a part of the game plan, which is deep. Trey Burton's had more catches within 2 games than I guarantee you any part of Anthony Sherman. Like it's weird. They got a new offensive line. So this is what I think it is. They got a new offensive line that is now capable of being a man-on-man power blocking scheme that we've gained literally on average at least 20 pounds per position. Like we have genuinely transformed what the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line scheme has become in one offseason. Eric Fisher has gone to Orlando Brown, which is literally probably at least 40 pounds difference. Joe Thuney is now a part of it, probably who's 50, high 290. Yeah, 290s. Creed Humphreys, 290. Trey Smith's like 330. Lucas Niang's like 325. Like, this is a power offensive line. All 5 new guys who have no chemistry between each other, so they're still trying to figure out their lane. But with all that being said, they're using Clyde as like an inside zone runner, which has never been really what he does. Like, he is a receiver. He is a guy you get in space so he can make quick cuts.
Those aren't
and
zone blocking guys either.
They're
Those
not.
are big boys. That's a power run scheme.
They move shit. And they're getting him to like 3 to 4 yards down the field. Like, they're moving the line of scrimmage so much better than any other line that we've had in the Andy Reid era. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire isn't the type of runner that sits back and explodes through a lane and makes 12 yards out of that. He's a guy who kind of dwells in traffic and like breaks off of one and keeps going. He thrives in space, and he thrives receiving, and they're not using him in that aspect at all. And it's a very confusing just display as a Chiefs fan. And I have faith that they're going to figure that out. But why I said the DeAndre Swift shit, like, if we were to go, if like this was a part of the plan, which is pretty impossible to predict from like when they drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire, there's no way they expected to completely destroy the offensive line that following offseason so that they can now do an inside zone running offense. I think they're adjusting. And I think this loss came at a perfect time to change the rest of their season schemes, because week 2 is incredibly early in the grand scheme of things. And I would buy low. I would buy low on Clyde, because at the end of the day, he's still the clear-cut RB1 in a top NFL offense. And there's still room for him to receive. And hopefully Andy Reid will – I'm confused. I'm confused why Andy Reid hasn't already understood this. But
I hope that there's
he'll get
like
back to his roots at some point.
I pray that this year they maybe hide it, disguise it, and then bring it out in the last part of the season. They're like, this is
that's
like
possible too. That's very possible. That's some
such
Andy Reid type shit. But like, it's just confusing.
27
to watch
rushes, 89 yards, and then you got 3 targets, 3 receptions, 29 yards. So
also, Darrell Williams is a bad running back. Any fantasy expert telling you to pick up Darrell Williams, don't do it. Do not pick up Darrell Williams. There will not be a single fantasy week good with Darrell Williams on your roster.
A quarter of his total yards came on a 1/9 of his touches, all through the air. Like, come on.
Talking about Helaire?
Yeah. He had 27 touches for 89 yards, or 27 rushes for 89 yards. He had 3 receptions for 29 yards on 3 targets. Like, he's efficient in space. You're exactly right. He's efficient in space, and they're underutilized, and they're not using him. I'm getting kind of frustrated with the KC offense, and I guess I say that as they still put up 30-plus points a game, but it's just like, you could be better. Like, you could be doing more. Why not set up this to then do that? Like, you're just solely relying on Tyreek Hill being Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce being Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes. And it is a sophisticated passing scheme. I'm not saying it's not, but like, you could be doing more.
But there's genuinely
50% of your offense isn't being utilized.
It's not 50. Like he's not succeeding at pass routes. Like, they're just not calling passing routes. Like, there is no screens being called, which is but it's because nobody's blitzing. And you saw that graphic happen consistently throughout the Ravens game, is that the highest blitzer, Don Weekendale or Wink Martindale, isn't blitzing.
We wrote the book on how to stop that team.
I mean, that's just any quarterback. Like, if you can get 4.
Your offense specifically is best when you're rushing 4 passes, you're dropping everybody else in coverage.
How does Tom Brady get beat?
When you put
pass rush with 4 effectively.
Well, yeah, if you can, but if you can't pass rush with 4, then it doesn't work. So like, you have to have the bodies to do it. That's literally the script
against Mahomes.
Yeah, I know, but like,
that's what the Bucs.
That's what the Bucs did to beat him in the Super Bowl. I'm just saying, that's what the Bucs did to beat him in the Super Bowl. They're gonna have to learn to counter that. It's up to the Chiefs. It's up to Andy Reid to be able to learn to counter that. And until you do, you're probably going to lose a couple games. I wouldn't say that this game was lost because of it. Your guys' offense was moving, clicking. It was running on all cylinders. I'm just saying, you're still like neglecting 50% of this offense, which is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It's not one piece. It literally is half of this offense is not being utilized. Because if you had Kareem Hunt right now, literally, like, what would be happening?
Right.
Like, why is Clyde Edwards-Helaire not...
Kareem Hunt would be a better running back.
Okay,
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a
Kareem Hunt got
threat.
sent up the seam on like his rookie like debut. Got sent up the seam and like scored a touchdown. And like I like damn near flipped the table because I was like, that's a number one running back. Like that was a top running back that year. I was pissed.
That was Matt Nagy.
Okay.
Honestly,
why isn't Matt Nagy sending friggin' Tariq Cohen up the seam like that?
Well, Tariq Cohen's got an ACL injury he's handling, but David Montgomery absolutely is getting receiving touches. Like David Montgomery is a good fantasy running back right now because he's getting receiving yards.
Right now, though, but he's been mismanaged his entire career. Has he not? Stud running back.
He's getting a quarterback
unutilized now. Up until like the last quarter of the season.
But he has an offensive coordinator who's using him in a receiving capability. And Eric Bieniemy, for whatever reason, seems to not use that aspect. Like, even Damian Williams would have some wheel routes. But, yeah, that Kareem Hunt up the seam, which I love and I think absolutely needs to be utilized as much as possible, that's just not a part of this offense for some reason. And it seems to be something that hopefully can be incorporated going forward.
We have made probably 60% of this show about your Kansas City Chiefs. And I think it's half my fault.
I would say at least 23%. At most 23%.
Nah, I think we made probably a good half this show about your Chiefs. And but I've been the one asking questions. It's kind of my fault. The Green Bay Packers, are they going to be okay? Or is that defense?
Yeah.
Are they going to be okay? But are they going to be okay and just not do anything with it? Like, can Rodgers, with that offense, take that team past a good team with that defense? That defense is trash. You have Jari Alexander.
What are your expectations for the Packers?
Well, I mean, their expectations are hopefully Super Bowl. I think there's 3 or 4 teams are going to stand in that way, but they should be a Super Bowl contender. I think they tried to upgrade the defense. That's all they did this offseason was try to upgrade the defense, and it's still trash. Like, are you pressing the panic button on the Green Bay Packers? Because even with this win, even with the fact that they might even beat the Niners next week, I don't think that they're like a contender by any means with that defense. I think once they get in the end of the season, it's going to be complete exposure.
I mean, if your expectations are a Super Bowl contender, then yeah, absolutely. The panic button should have been hit in the offseason when the team didn't really do much to improve the actual team.
My point.
If I'm just asking if they're a good football team, yeah, they're a great football team. They have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. They're going to make the playoffs, and they'll probably go, maybe the conference championship. I would say division. They're just not a good enough football team to represent the NFC. The NFC is full of a lot of really good teams, including the Buccaneers, and I think the 49ers are on their way up. And I don't see them. I don't see Aaron Rodgers being near a Lombardi Trophy this year. And if that's your expectations, then yeah, panic button needs to be hit.
That's what they're expecting. Definitely. I know they're not going to be. I knew that, like you said, this offseason when they didn't address the problems, or they at least didn't try to give Aaron Rodgers the firepower to overcome.
Distraction going on.
How else would you not try to make Aaron Rodgers happy by bringing in people that like can help him win? That's what he bitched about. That's why he like held out to begin with. Was because he wasn't.
You proved his point. Like,
I know.
Nobody won.
Oh, it is, and I hate even being on Rodgers' side. I do, because I've despised him just like I've despised Brady. But now I'm like,
I like
slowly but surely
I enjoy being
around.
on his side. This is our generation's Dan Marino. Like how everyone
fuck.
saw
I
him,
mean, plus
as how
one ring,
everyone,
but
as how everyone saw like he should have got more out of what he did. Roger should have got more out of what he did, but he'll be respected for what he accomplished and like the display of just genuine talent that he did throughout his career. But he did it to himself.
yeah. Oh, he definitely did it to himself.
But it's been a lot of fun watching him play. Like he's still,
and it's been good. It's also
he's
been
still
good.
probably one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Like it's the dart that he did to Tanyan was stupid nasty. Like,
I still started Tanyan. I still started
Tanyan
Tanyan in 2 leagues. Suckers told me not to. People said don't. People said move on. It was a fluke.
I just never feel comfortable playing him.
Well, I mean, in the red zone, he's like their number 2 option. It's not even close. Like, it's... Well, no, number 3. I mean, shit.
Yeah, we'll see.
Freaking Aaron Jones. God
seems to
damn
really
it,
like
dude.
the end zone.
Staked. I was just like, just one. One for Davante Adams. Just one. Like, here.
No.
I'll put this out there into the world. I traded Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Tyler Lockett for Davante Adams. I feel like at the time when I made the trade, because I made the trade before the games had started, then Tyler Lockett starts going off. My buddy pulls a trigger. The Clyde Edwards-Helaire was the kicker for the trade. Would you, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire hasn't done shit, so far at least. Would you not say you would trade Tyler Lockett, even with these points over the last 2 weeks, for Davante Adams moving forward?
Yeah, I think that trade actually looks better this week than it did last week when you did it.
Thank you.
I mean, Adams, it really does. It really does. But, like, I mean, Adams is going to have a 3-touchdown game.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll probably have it in the next 3 weeks. It's just, he's going to get his. This is the last dance. It's going to come, and I understand your trepidations because of Tyler Lockett becoming a top 5 wide receiver in the league before our rise.
Again, I'm on this show quoting that like Tyler Lockett over DK. Like I literally was just like, I have Tyler Lockett in almost all of my leagues. I'm like, hell yeah, Tyler Lockett this year is gonna be the number 1 guy. Battling injuries last year. He's a better route runner, better all-around receiver, more trustworthy, doesn't drop the ball. Like, I just shit on DK all off-season, and then I go trade freaking
We have
Tyler
so
Lockett.
many clips just blowing up Tyler Lockett. Like, the easiest, safest pick in the draft.
And I trade him away. I get in my own, I think I get in my
But, you got Adams.
fantasy.
Adams is a... You'll be fine.
Oh yeah, I mean, literally, I got a first round pick for a third and a 7th. I think is when I got Tyler Lockett in 3rd and the 6th. 3rd and the 6th for a first.
If you're doing a redraft right now, where are you drafting Lockett?
Oh, like third round for
yeah,
sure. Yeah,
like
mid 3rd round for sure.
Where are you drafting Clyde?
I'm not drafting him because I still don't know what the fuck is going on. Well, again, like when I drafted him, I was like,
I get it.
It was one of those like, It was like a almost you go take a luxury pick and go grab a tight end, or do you try to lock it up? And it was like, again, if Clyde was to be the Clyde from LSU, then like that's gonna win you the draft. So I feel like I swung for the fence a little too much in a couple of my drafts this year, where I should have just been like taking guaranteed points, and that's where I messed up. There's a few guys I would have taken over Clyde, and I'm not going to say it's your fault, but you've definitely influenced me.
I definitely influenced it. No, I influenced a lot of people around me because it made sense, and it
did. I'm just a little bitter.
I feel you. I'm bitter about it myself because like I just feel like I've been fooled. But
I mean, you also almost convinced me.
I'm not out.
You almost convinced me to ruin my Survivor pick too. So I don't know if I can trust you anymore, brother.
Yeah, I'm for entertainment purposes only.
And you know what? This is 100% my fault. 100% my fault. I called this man and be like, hey, you ain't got your picks in. Like, get your picks in. Like, I got you. And because I was like, I need to hear this from him, he secured it. TJ Watt versus Alex Leatherwood. There's no way. So I changed my pick from the Raiders to the Steelers with like 2 or 3 minutes to go before the game started, and it
Yeah,
fucking
there's just
burned
not
me.
many chances I'm going to pick the Raiders and many opportunities.
But like we talked about it, and like the
Like
second you were like
I could
TJ Watt
probably
against Leatherwood,
find
and
a
that was my
way
biggest
the
concern.
Jags. I could probably see the Jags beating the Raiders at this point.
What?
You probably don't want to get my. I'm just saying, like, it's hard for me to pick the Raiders.
I know. So like at what point in the season are you going to
We got to come up with a bet. I'll ride with the Broncos. I don't give a fuck. I'll do it.
What are we doing? All right, then what are we doing? What kind of bet?
Oh.
You're the one that threw it out there. So you gotta like I can't come up with a bet for you to make.
I'll have something for you next week. All right. You guys heard
it here. We just hit that 90-minute mark, so let's wrap this baby on up. I appreciate
the refill. That's probably for the best.
Yep, there we go. So I appreciate y'all tuning in to the Blitz Breakdown. We didn't technically miss a full week. It hasn't. We kind of got in there. We got it in there. But yeah, it did suck that we didn't get to live pod, side by side, and not have to do this split screen thing. So we apologize, but we'll be back, and me and Ashton will definitely be in person a whole lot more this year. So stay tuned for more. Please go hit that like and subscribe button, for Christ's sakes. Like, let us hit that 1,000 mark. We were like this far. Please, just
hook a brother up.
Just hook a brother up. Find me at Jack Bourgeois. Find him at Ashhole1056, as you can see on both of them. Sponsored by Key City Brewing. I'm trying to think of what else am I missing? Key City Brewing. Drink, Rebel, repeat.
They make wonderful beer.
The best beer. Just the best beer. I love it. I love that they're a sponsor. They're good people. I work for them as well. Obviously, you guys can't tell. Like I said, I literally been brewing all day today. So, been a hell of a day. But, appreciate y'all tuning in. Blitz out.
Later.